What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So I'm going to be doing a video I haven't done in a long time, and I'm going to have some fun with it too. I'm going to be talking about prepping, and this is going to be a WROL situation, what my loadout would be. But basically, I'm basing this theory off of, if you guys know me a little bit, on top of it being, loving shooting and teaching people how to shoot and stuff like that. I love gaming. I'm a big gamer. I don't have a gaming channel. I just love gaming. One of my favorite games of all time is called Fallout 4. All right, Fallout 4. Now, to give you a quick little backstory before I get into it, because the video is not about the game, is basically you have a choice as the player to either be this dude that's a veteran that's just got out of the military, or his wife that's a lawyer. All right. And basically you choose one, create the character, and basically you're in a world where nuclear war is about to break out, and you're selected to go to a vault because of your branches, your family service. And last minute, the bombs fall, and you're running to the vault, and you're trying to take cover with your family. Now, what happens is Vault Tech, which is in charge of the vaults, they basically, they're kind of a really corrupt organization where they make these vaults just so they can conduct scientific experiments on people without them realizing it. So in the vault that they run to, without knowing it, they're running to a cryo facility. So your character, you get to choose either male or female, and you have an infant child. You go to a cryo facility, and they don't know what's going on. They just think they're getting depressurized and stuff like that from the blast. They're told to step into these pods so they can get depressurized. And 160 some odd years later, 180 years later, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. They wake up because it was cryopod that put them to sleep, and a corrupt organization called the Institute, which has been underground since the bombs fell, has created what's called synths, robots. Basically robots that look like human that you can't distinguish between the two. And they kidnap his son, or your character's son, either your male or the female. And they kill the parent that is with the son. So it's either if you're the male, then you lose your wife. If you're the wife, you lose your husband. And then they take the son, and because he hasn't been touched by radiation or anything like that, and they do that. And then they hit the freeze button again, and then you freeze, and then you wake up again. Now, by the time you completely wake up, it is about 212 years after the bombs fall, and it is a post-apocalyptic world full of raider gangs, full of synths, full of crazy, creepy monsters and stuff like that. Hands down, awesome game. All kinds of mods you could put onto it too, really good mods and stuff like that too. And I love this game. It's a really fun game. So I'm basing my loadout on the Fallout 4 world just because I think it's fun to do. So you guys can take this seriously if you want, or if you're like me, you just like games like this, just enjoy it and have some fun. So now we're going to get into what my WROL loadout would be and how I would carry it and stuff like that too. So the first things first is I'm a strong believer in pistols. I love pistols. You can carry them everywhere. They're very accurate if you know how to use them and stuff like that. So I would carry a minimum of 2 pistols on me if I could find them or had the options of it. Now, my choices for this situation would be my primary would be hands down my 1911. And this is actually a really nice holster. I wanted to review on it. This is actually a Masters leather holster. Now, it's the Masters leather holster. This is a really, really nice holster. It fits the 1911 perfectly. Okay, like look at that. The 1911s are heavy guns. It won't come out. These are great guns. And this holster is a beautiful leather holster, and they're just good. I'm a huge fan of the Masters holster. So this would be my primary pistol, what I would go on to with this, and I'd use using ball ammunition if I had it, because you'd be able to find it. There'd be a lot more ball ammunition. There wouldn't be jacket hollow point. And in a WROL situation like that, kind of war situation, combat situation like that, you want ball because you want the penetration of ball. And especially if someone's behind a building or something like that, you might get lucky and get through it with this. So this would be my primary pistol. It would be the 1911, my Rock Island 1911, whatever 1911 would be available to me. And if I had my stuff like stored away before the bombs fell in like a safe and no one could get into it, and I opened my safe and clean my stuff out and oil it and they'd work, then that's what I would do. This right here would be my primary pistol. Now, my backup pistol would be hands down, would be the CZ. I love this thing. I absolutely love this thing. You get these nice zombie grips on it from Lock Grips. I love this pistol, right? This would be my backup, my secondary pistol. Now, what I would carry that in would be this Condor shoulder holster. Condor shoulder holster. It pretty much fits any pistol universally. So whatever pistol you could find, you can put them in here. Goes on your shoulder, very comfortable to carry. Has mag pouches, so you can put the magazines in there. That would be my backup. Would be right here. Primary would be the 1911. Backup would be the CZ and this, and it fits very well. Has the retention, so it wouldn't go away, so it wouldn't fall out. So that would be my backup pistol with it. So I'd want to have a minimum of 2 pistols, because if one fails, then the other one's got to go, right? Now, in the game, you can carry a ton of equipment and like all kinds of guns until you're completely bogged down, which is absolutely ridiculous. No one can do that in real life. So in the game, you could choose like a couple rifles and shotguns, especially if mods. There's all kinds of stuff that you get out there. But in real life, if this was a real life situation, which would never ever happen in a situation like this, my primary would be hands down my Savage XS2, my 308, my 308. Now, the reason I would choose this is because in a situation like that, I've never been much of a kind of in-person, in-your-face type of person when it comes to that type of situation, or if it was combat, unless I had to, because the Marine Corps taught me that I had to go up close and in person. But obviously, you were teams and squads and platoons. If I was kind of out on my own, I'd want a bolt-action rifle. Now, the reason I want the bolt-action rifle is because they are very accurate. They have very good calibers, and 308 is a absolute great caliber. So you can investigate things before you approach them. So say if you need supplies and you're checking a building or something, you think there's going to be supplies, you can get behind the scope and you can investigate it, zoom in the scope the best you can, take a look, see what's going on. At the same time, with a 308 cartridge, okay, you can do some serious damage. You can do some serious damage, drop any 2-legged or 4-legged animal in the Northern Hemisphere. So that would be one in the Northern Hemisphere. So 308 for me would be the hands down my primary. Now, what I've always set this set up for is, if you take a look here, I'm making my, my camera shake here. I always have this sleeve right here on the buttstock, and this is just 308. This is core lock rounds. Okay, these are core lock rounds. See? Good hunting rounds. I have them there, and I'm a left-handed shooter, so when I'm shooting, I can simply grab them like this, and if I need to, I can put them in the bolt very well. Because if you put it on the other side, the shells are actually going to be against your chin when you're trying to get a chin weld on this. So I would carry rounds in the sleeve. But another way that I carry these rounds, and I haven't brought this out for years, this thing right here. I love this thing. This thing is just like really cool. So it just looks like a weird pouch. It's pretty thin. You put it on your belt or anything like that. It's from Midway USA, because they have good stuff that you can buy online with them. It's a really cool looking kind of pouch, but what it is will surprise you. It's not a first aid pouch. It's not anything like that. You do this, you open it up, and look at that. That is all 308. All this right in here is 308. So I haven't had these out in a while, but you can see they are the core locked. These are the 308. And this thing is great because you can put it on belts, you could put it on bags, you could put it on gear, you could put it on whatever you want, because it has these, tactical straps or whatever onto it. So that's kind of a nice, cool setup when it comes to this specific thing. Obviously, I have extra ammunition because I have a ton of 308 in the house. But this right here would be what I would primarily carry it on. And it's very simple because you just kind of fold it up. I'll put these back in, fold it up. And you have all that ammunition in this small little package. All right, small little package. So it is kind of cool. So I would, hands down, that would be my primary. Now, that would just straight up be my primary. Now, I would also carry my bag, my bug out bag right there. That's the one I usually carry on a daily basis. And what's in there is, I won't pull every single thing out, but I have the necessities of what you need to survive for about 72 hours. So a little bit of canned foods, like little, what are they called? B4RD or whatever the heck they're called. I have those in there. I always check the expiration dates, make sure they don't expire. I have a spoon in there so I could eat that stuff. And then I have extra warming layers, and I have a knife and a hatchet. That knife is a nice quality knife. Let's see if I can pull it out for you. Let's see, and my water, can't forget that. And I'm not going to dig into it, but I have my knife in there, which is a really good quality knife that I have. It's called M-Tech knife. And then I also would have my hatchet in there, because you could use both for both bushcraft and defense, and it's kind of a cool little setup. So I would have that first setup. Now, in this type of world, if it was kind of a Fallout world, you would have to have extra layers of clothing. You'd have to have a way to clean yourself on a daily basis. So one thing that you might want in consideration, or might take in consideration, one thing that I might want to take in consideration is, basically, if in 200 years, if this is the scenario, then this stuff won't be around. But basically, I would have extra layers of clothing in there because you don't want to get all that radioactive dust that's on you, because the dust is still going to be pretty bad. There's still going to be fallout. I mean, it's not going to be as bad as it was 200 years prior, but there's still going to be fallout out there. Things are still going to be radioactive. So you're going to want to keep your skin as clean as you possibly can and change out your clothes when you can. And if you can find some water that isn't radioactive, because you're going to want a Geiger counter, which I don't have, which I should probably get eventually. But basically is you have to test the water. You have to clean your stuff off with that non-radioactive stuff, just so when it's on your body, it's clean. Another thing you're going to want is a way to clean yourself. So you're going to want some sort of soap or something like that, because you got to keep yourself clean on a daily basis. You're going to be exposed to radiation or the dust, and it's going to be it would be a crappy world in the first place, but you want to try to keep yourself as clean as possible. Especially if there's no running water or anything like that, then you are going to have some serious rot issues. We'll just say that if you don't keep yourself clean on a daily basis. So that's one thing you're going to want to do. Now, I would get rid of the beard too in a world like that, because you would need some sort of gas mask, right? For some places that you need to go and stuff like that, you would probably need some sort of gas mask. And if you have a beard or any facial hair whatsoever, the gas mask will not have a full seal on your face, and you will be inhaling the bad stuff. So my beard would be completely gone, which would suck, and my fat cheeks would be coming out. So I get rid of my beard and stuff like that. Now, this game is a fun game, guys. If you've never played it, Fallout 4, go check it out. I know I have a lot of older people that are in here, but I also have younger people in there, and gamer ages like me, I guess you could say. I'm almost 40, geez. But the Fallout 4, if you've never heard of it, guys, great game, absolute great game. There's a lot of different ways you can go. You can become a member of the Minutemen. Well, you have to start out becoming a member of Minutemen. But basically, when you have no law enforcement in a situation like this, and this is kind of very realistic when it comes to this too, and if this was real life, when there's no law enforcement or something like that, the farmers and all the people, they need to take care of each other. So they would need to have a force of each other, kind of like a militia, that would protect each other. So in the game, there's the Minutemen. So you start off with the Minutemen, and you're kind of trying to rebuild the Minutemen by, rebuilding up settlements and stuff like that, and planting the crops and getting water for them and stuff like that. And then they all bind together. And once you create enough of those, little villages, or not villages, little settlements and stuff like that, what can happen is you level up in your Minutemen skills, and you get artillery that you can actually start building on these different locations and stuff like that. And you could also start having flare guns. So if you get into yourself in a bad position, you fire the flare up, and any of the Minutemen in the area immediately come within a minute's notice, what the Minutemen is supposed to be, immediately come with a minute's notice to help and protect you. And you're the general of the Minutemen technically in the game, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, you have these smoke grenades that you throw, and then if you level them up, you put these artillery at different settlements and stuff like that, you can throw smoke grenades, and just about anyone can reach it with the artillery. So you have that artillery support, which is cool on it too. But there's different stuff like the railroad, which helps free synths and stuff like that. And then you have Brotherhood of Steel. It's like a militarized communist force is the best way to do it. That they go in, guns blazing, the best technology in the world. And they specifically go around trying to, as they say, get rid of the bad stuff. But in truth, they're just hoarding all the technology for themselves and not letting anyone else have it. And they take care of anyone in the way, and they start taking crops from families and stuff like that, because that's just kind of how they are. They're kind of a communist superpower, is the best way to explain it. So you could go with them too if you want to do that. Now you could also go the bad way and go with the Institute, the people that create the synths, and you would, if you play the game, you'd find out why you might want to do that, because who the lead of the Institute may surprise you if you've never played the game. Anyway, guys, I had a little fun with this video. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. And remember, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.